In the 8th century BC, the Middle East is rapidly consumed by a ruthless military power. The ancient text of Isaiah chapter 10 drops us directly into the center of this geopolitical crisis. Verses 10 and 11 establish a complex dynamic. God is utilizing the Assyrian military to execute divine judgment against the nations of Israel and Judah for their rampant idolatry. Yet the Assyrian Empire possesses far more idols than the nations it is crushing. We see the physical reality of this discipline in the total destruction of Samaria, the capital of the northern kingdom of Israel. The city is reduced to rubble. This flowchart illustrates the mechanics of divine justice at work. Rampant idolatry leads directly to divine judgment. God applies this rule to Israel, but because he is perfectly just, he must eventually apply that exact same standard to Assyria for its own corruption. Serving as an instrument of divine discipline provides no immunity. A nation can be used to execute a specific plan and still face the consequences of its own actions. Verses 12 through 14 move our attention into the mind of the Assyrian king. Focusing on the glory of his high looks, he claims total credit. By the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom. He acknowledges no higher power. He compares conquering sovereign nations to gathering abandoned eggs from a bird's nest. He claims he reached his hand out and took the riches of the earth, and no one so much as moved a wing or opened a mouth to stop him. The historical record backs up this text. Assyrian kings commissioned clay cuneiform prisms to explicitly record their campaigns with this precise type of arrogant boasting. Extreme military success creates an illusion of complete self-reliance. It blinds a leader to the external forces and conditions that actually make their power possible. Let's pause. Think about how illogical it would be for a hammer to claim it built a house instead of the carpenter. How would you illustrate that flaw in logic? Isaiah uses this exact reasoning in verse 15 to expose Assyria's arrogance. He asks, "Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it?" Mapping the prophet's analogy to a hierarchy tree, God is the craftsman at the top. The Assyrian Empire is merely the tool acting upon the wood, the conquered nations. Snap that connection to the craftsman, and the tool can accomplish absolutely nothing. Confusing temporary, delegated power with permanent, inherent strength is a fatal error, guaranteeing an eventual collapse. The consequences arrive in verses 16 through 19. The Lord of hosts promises to kindle a burning fire under Assyria's glory, consuming its thorns and briars in a single day. This split-screen diagram maps that poetic language directly to military realities. The fat ones represent the wealthy princes and commanders stripped of their plunder. The glory of his forest represents the massive rank-and-file army. In 701 BC, Sennacherib surrounds the mud-brick walls of Jerusalem, expecting to crush this holdout. But 2 Kings details the execution. In one night, the Lord strikes down 185,000 Assyrian soldiers. The survivors retreat, leaving massive spoils scattered outside. Human empires rise and fall as unwitting instruments of history. The moment they claim the glory that belongs to the architect, they are dismantled.